People who owned hamsters, what's the weirdest way they died? Mine died of a heart attack or old age, which isn't the interesting part. I walk in to see my big burly husband, who always pretended to just tolerate him, performing CPR. He was so upset that he couldn't save him. He would hide his food in his cheeks so my mom would refill his bowl thinking I hadn't fed him. Eventually he got so fat he got stuck in a tube and died of a heart attack. I still remember my mom shaking the tube like a ketchup bottle trying to get his little corpse out. We had two when I was a kid, not knowing that's not a good idea. So naturally hamster 1 ate hamster 2, which was deeply disturbing. But in an odd twist of fate, hamster 1's death was far more disturbing and none of us were ever able to figure out how it happened. We walked in after school to greet him and he sat at the bottom of the cage looking up. As we get closer, we realized he has something in his mouth, which is unnerving because last time that happened he was happily eating hamster 2, but that can't be the case this time. When we get over to the cage, little dude is dead, but his spine and little arm bones are poking up out of his mouth, like they're reaching for the top of the cage. It took ages to mentally figure out it was his own bones poking out his mouth. It was creepy AF. Stepdad's closest guess was he was climbing the top bars like he usually did and fell from a height onto his bum, which forced his spine and other bones up through his mouth. No idea if that's even possible. But I refuse to have hamsters anymore. They always die in the most messed up ways. My brother had two and we were sharing a room at the time. He had taken one out of the cage to put into the ball it can roll around on the floor but didn't seal the lid all the way and then got distracted by something and left the room. I came up and started to play music on my boombox and somehow the little fucker got up on the dresser and was right near the speaker. We forgot about Dre being on blast gave him a heart attack. She literally ate all of her children and died choking on the last one. Yusu Nayat. My mom put my hamster in her freedom ball while I was at my dad's house and forgot about her. She rolled into the garage on a hot summer day and couldn't get back inside because there was a step she had to roll down to get out. Mom closed said garage door, trapping hamster in basically an oven and found her dead later. Then, she put said hamster's body in the freezer in case I wanted to bury her, but forgot about her again. Imagine my surprise as a 9-year-old kid opening the freezer to get some ice and finding a hamstersicle. I had one when I was young called Doodles. He loved moving his bedding to the top floor of his cage. I remember walking downstairs and seeing him dead. Little fella hung himself with his bedding. They didn't die, they went to live on a farm with all their friends, though, I'm told, they miss me terribly. I had my hamster the day I lived in a condo, and 2 days later my hamster was missing, and thought they just jumped out on the floor or climbed their way up to another unit, so I just let them be. Then after a year I needed my AC to be fixed and found out that my hamster's corpse was the one that made my AC broke. This is a good one but was traumatic for me and my sister as a child, so we had a hamster whose front teeth got very overgrown. They went in a full circle. Our mother, a nurse, gave the hamster Benadryl to knock it out and clipped her teeth with a nail clipper. She put her in a bunker to start recovering. She was just coming around when our cat found her and had a nice little snack. Yusu Naito. I'm never getting a hamster. Never. I don't know about died. But we had a hamster that escaped regularly. One time we caught him and he was missing a foot. The next time we caught him he was missing an eye. When I cleaned out his cage at the age of 2.5 or so, I found marbles and acorns. He had to have gone outdoors to get acorns, and he chose to come back to the cage. I could never find how he escaped. We had 2 boxers and 3 cats. It's a damn miracle. Saw one bite a power cable once and fly several feet. Sad day for the little guy. A coworker said that he put his hamster in the backyard to watch it run around. A hawk grabbed it and away it went. As a joke he said that he thought it was just going for a ride, but he never returned. I fed mine a grape and it clogged him up, causing his intestines to explode out his ass. This was highly traumatic for 8-year-old me. I sat there in the vet's exam room, my mom's hand on my shoulder, knowing this was the first time I was enduring the death of something I loved dearly, and him explaining there really was no hope for Sir Lord Edwinton Fuzzball Von Cheeks. I stoically asked him if he was going to get a shot to put him to sleep. The vet said, "I'm sorry, yes." I then started to crack a bit and asked if I could have one too, and my mom broke down sobbing, and the vet semi-smiled and said, "Absolutely not." And that was the day I knew I'd grow up to be a goth kid. It isn't weird, but it's become legend in my family. We had Sniffles outside in his ball, enjoying the sweet summer day. My sister yelled outside to tell me the Backstreet Boys were on TRL. I ran inside, leaving Sniffles outside by mistake. I came back outside a bit later and it turns out a plastic ball in the sun probably gets pretty hot, and Sweet Sniffles was dead. I also buried him in a shallow grave and something dug him up a couple days later. Sorry, Sniffles. This wasn't mine, but a buddy of mine. His hamster absolutely hated his dog. All it would do was eat, sleep, growl at the dog, exercise, and try to tear a hole in the cage, over and over. It wanted a piece of that dog, bad. Eventually it got checked, like I did not think hamsters were capable of. This thing looked like a tiny pit bull or something. One day its muscles got big enough, or the cage weakened enough, or something. It got out and apparently got the glorious battle to the death that it always wanted. No one was there to see it happen, but the aftermath was not pretty. You saw it.